Good morning. A first look at the devastation from that powerful earthquake off the coast of Indonesia. Hundreds are dead and terrified residents there are bracing for more aftershocks today, Tuesday, March 29th, 2005.
From NBC News, this is Today with Katie Couric and Matt Lauer. Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And good morning. Welcome to Today on a Tuesday morning. I'm Matt Lauer.
And I'm Ann Curry in for Katie this morning. Good morning, everybody. Monday's magnitude 8.7 quake off Indonesia's coast came just 3 months after that huge tsunami on Christmas week. The quake set off a panic when authorities warned another tsunami could be coming. Luckily, that didn't happen, but this is the scene on the Indonesian island of Nias. As you can see, the quake left behind a lot of devastation. We're going to have more on this story in just a moment.
Also ahead, a bad day for Michael Jackson as a California judge rules prosecutors can present evidence that Jackson molested or acted inappropriately with 5 other boys in recent years. Is this a fatal blow for the defense? We're going to ask 2 legal experts about that. Also ahead, a major twist in the investigation into that deadly school shooting out in Minnesota. We're going to tell you more on that subject as well.
Then, are you reaching for that third cup of coffee right now after a rough night's sleep? Well, you're not alone. A major new poll reports that 3 in 4 Americans have trouble sleeping. Sleep problems can have a major effect on your happiness, among other things. And so don't pull those covers over your head. We're going to tell you how you can get the shut-eye you need. And check this out. Burger King's newest omelet sandwich, weighing in at a whopping 730 calories. Or what about the 1,400 calorie thick burger at Carl's Jr.? Well, this morning we're going to find out what these big meals can mean for your health, and of course it's not good.
That huge omelet sandwich, 47 grams of fat. That's just one meal for one day. Anyway, we're going to have more on that. But first, let's get the morning's top stories. And for that, we turn to the news desk where Natalie Morales is filling in once again for Ann. Natalie?
Good morning, Matt and Ann, and good morning, everyone. Aftershocks, including one with a magnitude of 5.7, are rattling Southeast Asia today following that massive 8.7 earthquake Monday. The hardest hit area appears to be Nias Island off Indonesia's Sumatra Island. We get the latest now from NBC's Ned Colt.
By morning's light, the damage has become more evident, most of it confined to the island of Nias off Indonesia's west coast, where numbers of the dead vary widely.
So stay calm. Please stay calm.
Last night, the shaking could be felt 500 miles away in Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. It sent panicked people into the streets, many too scared to go home, sleeping in mosques and temples. The epicenter of this quake was only 100 miles from the one the day after Christmas, which caused so much damage in the region.
It's the same type of earthquake.
But that quake created massive tsunamis. The waves killed close to 200,000 people in almost a dozen countries. 100,000 more are still missing. But fortunately this time, for most of the hundreds of thousands still so afraid, the shaking was the worst of this earthquake. Ned Colt, NBC News, Singapore.
Terry Schiavo is now in her 12th day without food or water. An attorney for her parents says Schiavo, quote, looks thin and is obviously losing weight. Both sides have agreed that after Terry's death, an autopsy will be performed to clear up any unanswered questions and to see the extent of her brain damage. New questions are being raised about the school shooting in northern Minnesota. Authorities have arrested the son of the tribal leader who has served as a spokesperson over the past week. They say they're trying to figure out if the 16-year-old was part of a larger conspiracy and the planning of a bigger attack. 59 former U.S. diplomats, Democrats, and Republicans are urging the Senate to reject the president's pick to become ambassador to the UN. In a letter, they're critical of John Bolton's stand on the issues, and they call him, quote, the wrong man for the position. Well, the price of gas has now jumped 4 cents a gallon to a nationwide average of $2.15 for unleaded regular, according to the Energy Department. Analysts blame the rising cost of oil. And it is on the road again for the rock band U2. Bono and the guys kicked off the first leg of a world tour last night in San Diego. What a thrill it would be to be there in that audience. It is now 7:04. Back to Matt, Ann, and Scene.
Yeah. All right.
I love them. I love Bono.
Why don't you call them and get them out here on the plaza?
I know. I will. I'll pick up the phone
Come on,
today.
do something for the team.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah.
Gene McLaughlin's in. Al's on vacation, and you've got to check of the weather.
It is. Speaking of vertigo, it's like the rain just would not leave yesterday, and there's still actually a chance of a little bit more this morning. Take a look at what I'm talking about. There's that low pulling off the Delmarva Peninsula, but like a bad girlfriend that won't leave. Look at that wraparound moisture. There's another chance of rain through this morning, but then look at these rainfall totals. Manchester, almost 4 inches. New York City down at Central Park, over 3 inches. In fact, all major New York City airports broke 24-hour rainfall totals. And then take a look out west. More rain, more snow for the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. That's a quick check of the National Weather Scene. Time now for your local forecast.
Still some showers around New England, thanks, Scene. And we have this area of rain which is shrinking in coverage, and then it's going to glide across Connecticut. So I have to include a couple showers in the forecast for the first part of today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 5-day forecast. Clouds and showers up till early afternoon. Then some breaks of sun. Fair Wednesday, nice Thursday, showers Friday, rain Saturday. Live pictures from the New Haven Green got soaked yesterday by about 2 inches of rain. Just gray now.
And about 6 minutes after the hour, that's a check of weather. Now, here's Matt.
All right, Scene, thank you very much. On Close Up this morning, that deadly earthquake off the coast of Indonesia. Fran Hesser is with Northwest Medical, a humanitarian aid organization helping out Indonesians devastated by December's tsunami. She was in bed last night when the earthquake struck. Her story now in her own words.
We jumped out of bed, we ran outside, and the earth, it wasn't really shaking like a huge quake, even though I later found out it was a huge shake. It was undulating, and we couldn't stand up. We immediately got so violently nauseous and seasick that we had to sit on the ground to keep our balance. But the people ran outside. The women were screaming. They were hysterical. The children were screaming. People were jumping in their cars and on their motorcycles, taking off for higher ground. We understand that it was total gridlock once they got out on the roads. A lot of motorcycle accidents, tremendous amount of panic. The word that was repeated most often was tsunami. The people were just screaming, tsunami, tsunami, tsunami. They were terrified of it. It didn't happen. I think that the earthquake has reinstilled fear in them. What I'm really most worried about and what we're concentrating our planning efforts right now is the island of Nias, which we understand is the hardest hit. We're hearing from the Vice President of Indonesia that an estimated 1,000 to 2,000 people are dead. They're basing that estimate on the number of houses that collapsed. And this is an island that was hard hit by the tsunami, so it's a double tragedy for this island.
That was Fran Hesser in her own words. Bill Frey is the mission director for USAID, which is providing humanitarian assistance to victims of the quake and December's tsunami. He's in Jakarta, and Dr. Lucy Jones is with the U.S. Geological Survey. Good morning to both. And Mr. Frey, let me begin with you. We're understanding that some of the worst damage occurred on the island of Nias. What are you hearing from people on that island?
Yes, Matt. We just had USAID staff complete a thorough assessment of Nias and returning about 90 minutes ago. Nias is an island of 440,000 people. The damage estimates are...
Early this morning, the Space Shuttle Discovery left its hangar at Cape Canaveral to make the quarter-mile trip to an assembly building. NASA hopes to send the Discovery and its crew into orbit in May or June. It would be the first shuttle mission since Columbia exploded back in February 2003, killing all 7 crew members on board. The Discovery will roll out to the launch pad in the next week or so. And it's 20 after the hour, still ahead, feeding the need for bigger and bigger appetites. We're going to show you the whopping new sandwiches on the menu at your local fast food restaurants. Plus, on our series, Easing Your Pain today, how doctors are trying to calm patients' fears about potentially addictive medications. But first, this is Today on NBC.
Tonight.
Tom Cameron Swayze.
Ed Huntley. David Brainerd, John Chen. Tom Brokaw.